Allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you spot the heat around the corner.
In a film full of scenes like this, the one that's the most intense,
Right.
is this one.
I am never going back.
A simple 6-minute conversation in a quiet diner between the two opposing forces in the film, Detective Vincent Hanna played by Al Pacino and high-end thief Neil McCauley played by Robert De Niro.
Nothing. 30 seconds flat from now, we are gone on our separate ways.
But before we get to that, let's quickly set the scene.
Back to work.
Heat follows relentless and obsessed Detective Vincent Hanna as he attempts to track down highly skilled professional criminal Neil McCauley. It's a game of cat and mouse, and as the heat intensifies, we see each one struggle in their personal lives. McCauley goes against his advice and starts a relationship, and Hanna's marriage crumbles due to his all-consuming dedication to his job.
All I am is what I'm going after.
As McCauley prepares one last bank heist, he has his first encounter with a detective, who asks him,
"What do you say I buy you a cup of coffee?"
setting the stage for the aforementioned scene.
"Follow me."
It opens on Detective Hanna, and it's important to note that both characters never directly share the frame. The whole thing is intimately filmed in medium close-up over-the-shoulder shots, and that's done for a very specific reason. These men are essentially two sides of the same coin, both highly capable at what they do.
I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
This is reflected in the blocking, where each frame essentially has a heads and a tails, yet neither actor dominates the frame. It highlights their distinct differences, but by keeping them on the same eye level, they become equals, and the line between protagonist and antagonist is blurred.
You do what you do, I do what I gotta do.
They're also both framed slightly off-center, creating a sense of unease and letting us know that even though this is a peaceful meeting, they're still at conflict with each other.
Brother, you are going down.
And while most of the film is highlighted by more animated acting,
Give me all you got! Give me all you got!
the conversation in the diner consists of subtle dialogue, with Pacino delivering his lines in a controlled yet tense way, and De Niro remaining calculated and precise.
I tell her I'm a salesman.
In fact, most of the acting happens in the silence, which the editor intentionally left in. He relied on the natural rhythm of the scene, pausing on the character as they calculate their next move, mirroring the chess-like dynamic of the conversation. It allowed the scene to feel completely natural, which was helped by the fact that it wasn't rehearsed beforehand.
Bob said, let's not rehearse. Let's learn it somehow, and at the same time, when we show up, just walk through it a bit and then shoot it. And it really worked.
Especially that we are meeting kind of for the first time. That's important. So yeah, that does help.
If I'm there and I gotta put you away, I won't like it.
This was the first time they were getting to know the other character, and thus they naturally learned about the differences between their vulnerabilities.
There should be that difference in the characters in terms of their how they come off, how their my character's situation is different than his, and my life is falling apart and his is just starting.
Hanna, under the immense psychological strain of his collapsing marriage and troubled daughter, finally feels like he can open up to someone about what's bothering him.
So you never wanted a regular type life?
The fuck is that? Barbecues and ball games?
Yeah.
And McCauley, a criminal who's not suffering from any cognitive dissonance, gives him the best advice he can.
You gotta move when I move. How do you expect to keep a marriage?
And after that rapport is established, Hanna gets even more personal and discusses a dream that he keeps having, pushing McCauley to finally open up about what's bothering him.
And I gotta wake myself up and start breathing or I'll die in my sleep.
But pay attention to how each character communicates. McCauley's lines are precise, measured, and devoid of unnecessary embellishment. He doesn't waste words, just like he doesn't waste time in his life.
Enough time to do what you want to do.
That's right.
Hannah, in contrast, speaks in a slightly animated, almost aggressive manner. His dialogue is laced with personal anecdotes and expressive phrasing, reflecting his chaotic but deeply passionate approach to his profession.
Because I spend all my time chasing guys like you around the block.
But despite their differences, both men share a mutual respect. They're both driven, detail-oriented, methodical, and willing to sacrifice almost anything to achieve their goal. In another life, and under different circumstances, they probably would have been friends.
They're similar in some ways, and they respect each other and even like each other because they're both good at what they do. But I will not hesitate. Not for a second.
The diner scene perfectly encapsulates Heat's central theme, the inevitable collision between professional duty and personal desire. Both Hannah and Macaulay acknowledge that their paths will lead to an ultimate confrontation, but in this moment, they share a rare, fleeting sense of understanding. It's a moment of humanity in a world driven by violence and survival.
Well, maybe we'll never see each other again.
I'm Luke.
Who? Were you a fucking owl?
Thanks for watching.
Here, she got a great ass!